5, 4, 3, 2, 1, drop that.
Welcome to the Test Guild Automation Podcast. We're all getting together to learn more about software testing and automation with your host, Joe Colantonio.
Hey, it's Joe, and welcome to another episode of the Test Guild Automation Podcast. Today we'll be talking with Sanjay Kumar all about the Chropath plugin that offers a smart way to get locators and verify them. Sanjay is the inventor and creator of Chropath, and he's also a speaker with a passion for automation. He's an open source enthusiast and loves to develop tools to make testers and developers' lives easier. And this is one of the tools he created. I think you're really going to enjoy this episode. If you want to learn how to create more robust Selenium locators and save yourself a bunch of time, you don't want to miss this episode. Check it out. The Test Guild Automation Podcast is sponsored by the fantastic folks at Sauce Labs. Their cloud-based test platform helps ensure your favorite mobile apps and websites work flawlessly on every browser, operating system, and device. Get a free trial. Visit testguild.com/Sauce Labs and click on the exclusive sponsor section to try it for free for 14 days. Check it out. Hey, Sanjay, welcome to the Guild.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you so much.
Great to have you on. Before we get into it, though, could you just tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Sure, Joe. Hello, this is Sanjay Kumar. I work for a company Autonomic. It's an US-based startup. Currently, I'm based out of Bangalore, India. I have total around 8+ years of experience in industry. I did my BTech in chemical engineer, so I'm basically from acad. I'm a chemical engineer, and from my profession, I'm a software engineer. So yeah, that's a pretty much brief intro about me.
So how'd you get into automation then?
I was a campus hire from my college, HBTI Kanpur. So from there, I joined IBM. So there I worked for around 3 years as an automation test engineer. It was my passion. Like I always keep thinking whatever process or whatever work I used to do, keep thinking about like, can we automate this thing that way? And there in IBM, I written almost around 40-45 automation tools, but those were like internal, so they never came out. And then later I joined Guaibo as that automation test engineer. Then I worked for Urban later for some time. Then I was in InMobi, from where I started working on Chropath. From there, the journey started last year, October, I joined Autonomic.
So I know you've been working on Chropath for a while. For the folks that don't know at a high level, what is Chropath?
Yeah, so Chropath is an automation tool. So basically, the beginning when I started working on and the first version of Chropath came out, it was just an XPath tool, or you can say selectors tool, where you can generate the XPath, unique relative XPath, and you can verify your XPath and CSS selectors. But later on, like it with its upcoming version and the latest current version, it has evolved like anything, and it's a complete automation tool now. You can say you can generate your automation script steps. You can generate multiple XPath in few seconds for like hundreds of elements. Then it supports iframe, dynamic attributes, and now it's like it has many advanced feature now. So not just an XPath or selectors tool. It's basically, you can say now it's an automation tool. And with the upcoming version 6.0, it has like so many things. It has automated like so many things. Like you will be able to generate the manual test cases. You won't be writing the manual test cases going forward. You can generate like complete automation steps. For iframe, you will not have to write the XPath. Like in single click, you will get the relative XPath for iframe, for elements. And then this is going to be very first tool where you will get the relative XPath for SVG elements as well. Even though like you must be knowing that even Chrome DevTools doesn't provide the selectors and XPath for SVG elements. So yeah, there are like many unique features which Chropath is consisting and it will be having.
Great, Sanjay. So before we get into these newer features, I just want to start off at what it started with. And it almost sounds like, I know you've been doing automation for 8 years, but I'm a little bit older. So back in the day, I used a tool like WinRunner, a Quick Test Professional, and they had something called a GUI spy where you'd point it to an element and then would tell you all the different attributes you can use to identify that particular field. It sounds like Chropath does something similar. Can you just talk a little bit like what most people started off using Chropath for, what it was for? Finding elements, I assume.
Yes, so from the GUI of the Chropath, like as soon as you will be looking for inspecting any element, it will be giving you all the possible selectors. Like if it could be like attribute, class name, or like parceling text. If that will be unique, it will be letting you know the occurrences of that particular element, of that particular selectors for that element, and then all types of possible selectors it will be giving you for that particular element. Either you click on the DOM node or you inspect that element in DevTools. And it supports multiple browsers, and it has no dependency on any other plugin. Like Firepath was dependent on Firebug. So like it supports Chrome, Firefox, Edge browser, and Opera browser as well. And this is only XPath tool which supports these browsers. There's no other plugin.
Chropath, I thought it was just a Chrome plugin. So you're saying you can open this up and use it against IE or Firefox, or there's individual plugins for each of those browsers as well?
Yes, not for IE. This supports the latest Chromium based Microsoft Edge browser, not the IE browser. Currently, it's not supporting IE browser, not supporting Safari browser. It's supporting Chromium based Microsoft Edge browser, which is recently launched, you must be aware. And then Firefox from the 47 version onwards, where Firepath is stopped working, and then Opera browser as well.
Cool. So I know some people may be skeptical and they might say, oh, big deal, I can look at the DOM and get the element myself. But you did a demo at Selenium Conf, I think in 2018, 2019, where you showed the time it saves you. Can you just give an example of how much time this plugin can actually save you if you use it?
Generally, people say like on an average for them, if they are writing, suppose 50 elements every day, 50 XPaths every day, for them, like they say like in a month, they're easily able to save at least 40 to 50% of time what they were spending earlier while writing and generating the selectors, or while verifying the selectors in automation script. And if we say like hours wise, so it depends like how much test cases you're writing. So if we take the average, on an average 30 to 40 hours one SDAT is saving by using this tool. And the example which I showed in the Selenium conference is like so there are like some elements which are like very easy to write the selectors. You can directly get any attribute, unique attribute for them. You can write just like / tag name and then attribute, any unique attribute you immediately found. But for some element it could be like time taken, like there is no unique attribute, then you have to write based on the parent and child philosophy, that logic. So what Chropath does, Chropath, in those kind of scenarios where you are wasting at 2-3 minutes of time just writing single selector, there Chropath helps a lot, because how Chropath generate the robust unique selector, it took the like whichever element you have inspected, it will write the XPath for that particular element. If it doesn't found the unique, it will try like all the possibilities, all the attributes, and then if text is there, that also it will try. If that is doesn't found the unique one, then it will go for the parent one. It will keep trying for the parent, and then if anywhere it found the unique one, then it will join this child to that parent which is the unique one, and it will try to make the smallest XPath, which a normal people, or a normal we like me or you or any normal SDAT will take some time to find those kind of selectors. We can do it like manually, of course, but just that like Chropath will make it easy for you and quite time saving. The other things like, like when we are inspecting element or writing our own XPath, or using dev tools, if we are copying XPath, it never tell you that this element is inside iframe. So what happened in many cases, like we keep trying that script is failing, but we are not able to find why this element not found error we are getting. And after debugging, and after some time, we will realize that this element is inside iframe. Then we switch inside iframe, and then we perform the actions. But Chropath, as soon as you will inspect the element, it will tell you immediately that this element is inside iframe, so please take care, please switch inside the iframe and then perform your action. So there are like a lot of scenario where Chropath saves a lot of time for you. And as an editor also, it has many features, like it highlights all the elements, it extract all the matching nodes in one place and give it to you. You need not to scroll up and down in the dev tools. It highlights, scroll the UI as well. So that way it helps a lot while debugging as well. and as well as you can get the complete command, like because you must be knowing about this, that many people use the page object model, BDD, where we used to write all the selectors in single page. So if you have that command, you just paste the command. There's an option to append the command XPath, because nobody used to write just direct XPath in their script, right? So like, if I take a very simple example, we used to write, if we have to just write a basic test case, driver dot find element, then by dot XPath, and then we paste that XPath, right? So here, what you can do, like in Chropath, there is an option add command. You click on that, you just paste that command there, and now you inspect your elements. It will generate that complete command, driver dot find element by dot XPath, and then it will append that XPath over there in that command. And there's a copy button. You just click on that copy button. You need not to control A then control C, and just by clicking on that copy icon, you got that complete thing, driver dot find element by dot XPath with XPath, and then you just, whatever action now you want to perform, you just add that in your editor. So just like in single go, you got the complete command along with XPath. And this you can generate, like this command, you can, it could be any command for your framework. Like many people used to have that add find by, and then I mean custom commands, because people used to write wrappers for page object model and for their framework. So it could be anything, or it could be in any language, not just Selenium. It could be Cypress. You might be aware, like there are very good tutorials on Udemy and Edureka. They used to first tell the Chropath that like you use Chropath for these things. So for Cypress also you can use, it could be in Python, Ruby, JavaScript, C Sharp, any language it will support. Any automation API it supports, because everybody, those who are writing UI automation, they need the XPath, so they can use it easily. And the command they can just pass, and like multi selectors option is there. You just click on that record icon. There's an right side, few icons are there. If you click on that, it will, recorder mode will be on now, and you just inspect all the elements for which you want to generate the command or the XPath. Then you just inspect, all of them will be generated in single shot. You just copy and paste in your editor, and there you go. Like in just what work, like let's say you were writing your complete page selectors, maybe half a day or 1 hour it was taking earlier for you, now it will be completed in 1 minute for you. You just have to click, and you're ready. Your page is ready. So that's how Chropath is saving a lot of time for users.
Does it only work with XPath, or does it give you other elements that maybe would be better?
Yes. So Joy, currently it used to give CSS selectors, relative XPath, partial link text, and link text. So it gives those selectors currently, locators currently, which are unique. This I'm talking about the current version, which is there in production, which is 5.0 we are calling. The upcoming next version 6.0, which will be maybe like in another 1-2 week, it will be launched. I'm just finishing up everything, wrapping up. In that version 6.0 version, I will share the link of a small tutorial I have made for 6.0. So in that version, you will get all the possible selector for inspected element for each element. So let's say for one element, there are like name is there, class name is there, ID is there, and value, and let's say all 8 possible selectors are available for that particular element. Then Chropath will give all possible selectors for that particular element, and it will tell you the occurrences of each selector. Like let's say of XPath, of course it will be unique, so it will always be 1. But tag name, it could be like 100 tags could be there for same tag name. ID, if ID is unique, then it will say ID is 1. Class name, if class name 1 is, it will suggest you. So it will give you the occurrences in front of each locator, but it will give you all possible selectors. So that problem will solve, because currently what happened, like you asked and very well suggested, that what if like other attributes are there, why people will use XPath, because ID is better, class name is better, name is better. So Chropath will suggest, but currently Chropath doesn't give them all the selectors, but going forward in 6.0, Chropath will give all the selectors, and it will suggest you why you can't use the name, why you can't use the class name, because if they are like more than one matching node, then you Chropath will highlight them like in different color, matching node in different color. If it is 1, then it will be in green. If it is 2, 3, then it will be in orange. If it is like 0, then it will be red. So those kind of thing Chropath will suggest. So more advanced feature will be there for users. And if ID or class will be dynamic value, like alphanumeric value, because for many applications nowadays, ID is dynamic. If application is in React or something, or class is dynamic, then Chropath will suggest you that these values are dynamic. Please generate without ID and without class. So one good feature is there in Chropath, that you can generate the XPath with your desired attribute. So you can pass the attribute name like means any attribute which you want to generate with. Like let's say you want to generate XPath with placeholder, or maybe you want to generate with QA ID or data ID. You can just pass that attribute name in the attribute box is there one. You just pass, and after that you just inspect. Normally what there's a normal way you generate the selectors for element. It will generate the XPath with the attribute you passed, and there is shortcut for ID, class, title, placeholder. So you just uncheck those boxes and it will generate.
Nice. So I forgot to mention to highlight that, like you said, it's not just for Selenium. For some reason, I thought it's just for Selenium, but it's not. It's obviously can use across any technology.
Yeah, yeah. So it's basically we always say autonomic Chropath is for UI automation testing, and for like web development and any programming language or any API you are using for UI automation, like even Catalan Studio users are using Chropath, Cypress using, web developers use while writing their code. If sometimes they need the CSS selector, or sometimes they want to verify their selectors, so they also use it.
Very cool. So also you mentioned debugging, and I thought once again, this may be old, you probably improved on it since then, but in one of your Selenium Conf things, you talked about how it has a feature that can help you with if exceptions happen. Can you just talk a little bit about any other debugging features that it has?
While debugging, what happens, let's say, because in UI automation, most of the time is our script used to fail just because of element not found, or element is hidden, or timeout exception, that element doesn't found is tail element. So those kind of error. So the very first thing we used to do, we come early morning in office, we used to check our automation report, and then what we found, like these are the element not found errors. Always, most of the time, like 90% of the time, UI or test case used to fail just because element not found. So first thing, we will copy the XPath and we'll paste in. If let's say we don't have Chropath, we will paste in that DevTools small window, Command F, and then we paste there. If element found, let's say one element found, or three, let's say three element found. As soon as you will hit and you blink your eyes, you will just found that three element found, but you will not see which are those three elements. Now you will have to scroll in the DOM that which are three elements. Even in the UI, you won't be able to find that which are those three elements matching. Every time you will have to press enter, then it will highlight for like just for a second, and as soon as your eyes will blink, it will go away. Then again you will have to press enter, and then again it will go to the next one, but it will not highlight that particular one. So what happened there, people struggle. Like this is just one scenario. Suppose if you got 10 matching node, if you got 100 matching node, and now you have to look for which element you want, then that used to, like on a regular basis, if you have to debug 10 test cases, then it will take a lot of time. For one test case, okay, it will take like let's say half a minute or 1 minute of time. That's fine. But if we consider like let's say 10 test cases, 100 test cases we have to debug, then it will take an hours of time. That's where Chropath helps a lot here. If you paste the same XPath which you verified in DevTools, now you paste the same XPath in Chropath. As soon as you hit enter, first it will extract all the matching node, and it will give you in Chropath tab, you will see all the matching nodes, as well as it will highlight all those matching nodes in the UI in web page. And if the first matching node, if it is hidden somewhere, it will scroll that element to the viewable area in front of your eyes. So it will be easy for you. You will not have to scroll up and down where is that element. As well as in the extracted node in Chropath tab, it will add the attribute like XPath 1, XPath 2, XPath 3, so that it you will be aware that this is the first matching node, this is the second matching node, this is the third matching node. And at any point of time, you want to see that which is this third matching node, which is the third matching node in the web page. You just hover on that third matching node. It will scroll, autonomous Chropath will scroll that element in the viewable area and highlight in different color, so that it makes a lot easy and saves a lot of time for users to while debugging as well. And as well as, like, let's say what happens many times when you paste that X path, and sometimes if a beginner has written that test case, or some by mistake somebody typed comma, or some comma is missing, or some bracket is missing in X path. If you paste that value in DevTools, it will say zero matching node, but it will not say that it is invalid XPath pattern. But if you will paste that XPath in Chropath tab, it will immediately tell you that this is incorrect format of XPath, so please correct it. So that way also it helps you that, okay, somebody has written the wrong format itself, or some comma or bracket or something missing. So those small things, it helps a lot. So that's where it saves a lot of time for developers and automation test engineer while debugging.
Also, I don't think I made it clear. Is this an open source solution?
This is not currently open source. It's a free tool, free to use for everyone, available for everyone, free to use, free to install.
So how hard is it to install and get set up and running?
It's just a single click. Not it will not take even a 30 seconds. So you just search for Chropath and autonomic.io/Chropath. So that's a homepage. There you have all the links for all of the Chropath, like for Chrome, Firefox, and all the links are available. All videos are available there, tutorials, and you just, like, for whichever browser you want, you just click on that. 2 clicks you will have to do: add to Chrome, add to Firefox, or whichever browser. Just add to Chrome. That's all. Only single click, and it got installed. Once it is installed, you just restart your browser, and there you go. And sometimes I want to highlight this. Sometimes what happen, like when user install and they see that Chropath is not visible in DevTools, so please make sure it will be the last tab on the sidebar, like Elements tab. Keep the Elements tab open. On the side you will see that styles, and those small tabs will be there on the right side of Elements, like style, computed, event listener. So there it will be the last tab, after accessibility. If it is not visible, please expand the sidebar, then it will be visible. Or else just follow any video tutorial of Chropath, you'll be able to see that.
So you did mention earlier that Chropath 6.0 is going to be like, it almost sounded like a different tool or an all-in-one solution. How different is it going to be from what people know from Chropath 5?
Yes, so in Chropath 5, like in 6.0, the complete new UI will be there. A lot improvement in the relative XPath generation. There are like a lot of new features which are there coming and unique, like SVG, XPath for SVG element, iframe XPath along with the element XPath. Then there will be a smart maintenance feature. Chropath Studio is gonna be introduced in 6.0, where you will see like manual testers or automation test engineer or developer will not have to write any kind of manual test cases. You will just perform your action. It will write your English test cases automatically along with the XPath and the command. So it will solve all the problems, all the manual effort which we are wasting today. And let me tell you one scenario here, like how 6.0 is gonna solve like so many problems in 6.0 with the Chropath Studio today. So what happened today, like in every company and everywhere, this is the situation that when a developer used to give a build to a tester, he will explain that these are the features you have to test. And in between, for sure, like what he will tell, meanwhile when he will reach to his desk, he will miss some or other steps. And what developer has explained, what tester will test, there some gap will be there and few things will be missing, and some or other thing will break in production. So to reduce that gap and to reduce the manual effort of writing manual test cases, we have introduced the Chropath Studio. While doing because whenever you develop any feature, you always do the basic testing, basic flow testing, every developer do. So you just turn on the Chropath Studio, you just single click and it will open. After that, you just perform your basic testing. It will write all the English test steps for that. And then once you are done, developer can give that test case to the tester that this is the steps, this is the flow which you have to test. I have already done it. So this is the proof that this is working. Now you test it, take these test cases and you do your testing. Similar thing, manual tester or automation test engineer can do, or like anybody, a PM or whoever is doing the testing, they can also just turn on the Chropath Studio and they can just perform their action. If they found any bug, immediately they have all the steps. They need not to rewrite the steps, that what are the steps to reproduce this bug. They have immediate those steps already. So they need not to write those steps as well. So yeah, these are the like couple of things which is going to reduce a lot of manual effort and gap between development and testing, and going to save quite much effort and going to make a lot easier for development and testing, and definitely it will improve a lot quality and the product development.
Excellent. So where does Autonomic come into play? Do you have to buy anything to get these features? Is this just something that they're offering up for free, and then there's some other features you could pay for that maybe has extra features that it would unlock?
Autonomic is the parent company of Chropath, and Autonomic has an enterprise version, which is the complete solution for testing. So you can say this is the first step we do, like developers or automation test engineer do. We used to use Chropath. So in Chropath, you have to do the next step. We will have to write the automation script in our editor or wherever. But with the Autonomic enterprise version, that tool generates the complete automation script. You just upload your English test cases, or you just add your manual steps in the tool, that you want to do this, and then click here, do this, that, and all kinds of actions and everything. You just add your manual steps over there in the tool, and it will write your complete automation script. Auto annealing is there, auto maintenance is there, and lots of features are there. So yeah, that is a complete solution.
Okay, Sanjay, before we go, is there one piece of actionable advice you can give someone to help them with their automation testing efforts? And let us know the best way to find, contact you, or get our hands on Chropath.
Yes, definitely. I always suggest everyone, like, keep sharing your knowledge, and whatever you know, whatever framework you have done or anything good you have done in your day-to-day work, just share with everyone. And this is how we did. Like, we created Chropath, we shared with everyone, and that's how like everybody is saving a lot of effort, and we are growing, and everybody is getting help. So yes, so if you have done something amazing in your day-to-day work, which is saving your time, help others as well with that, and let others also save the time, and let's grow together. Anybody can directly contact me on LinkedIn or Twitter. So my handle is Sanjay @Kumar, Kumaarr. And in LinkedIn, you can just search for Chropath Creator. You will find my profile. And in Chropath tab, there are like options. You can directly, we have given the Slack link over there. You can write, if any doubt or anything, you can directly write it to me, chropath@autonomic.io. You can drop me an email, or anywhere you can ping me. So yes, on Slack, you can drop a mail, or a Chropath page, there is a chat option. There are multiple options. You can connect me anywhere.
Thank you, Sanjay, for your automation awesomeness. For links to everything of value we covered in this episode, head on over to testguild.com/A294. And while you're there, make sure to click on that Try It for Free Today link under the exclusive sponsor section to learn all about Sauce Labs' awesome products and services. So that's it for this episode of the Test Guild Automation Podcast. I'm Joe, and my mission is to help you succeed with creating end-to-end, full-stack automation awesomeness. As always, test everything and keep the good. Cheers.
Thanks for listening to the Test Guild Automation Podcast. Head on over to testguild.com for full show notes, amazing blog articles, and online testing conferences. Make sure to subscribe to join the guild and continue your testing journey. This has been a Joe Colantonio production.